Hi everyone, I hope you've had a wonderful new year. Welcome to 2023. Today's video is going to be a little different from what we normally do. Today, we're going to be interviewing somebody on this channel for the very first time. And this is someone who works in the UK. So it's one thing for me to keep telling you what you need to keep doing, and it's another thing for you to hear it from the horse's mouth. That's what we're going to do today. Today, you're going to hear the actual journey of somebody all the way from India to the UK, how they made that transition, what worked for them, what didn't, so that you can emulate their story and you yourself can move to the UK. If you are new to my channel, my name is Ashika, and on this channel we talk about moving to the UK and pretty much anywhere else in the world. Now, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, now is an absolutely great time to do it. Hit the subscribe button now and click on the bell icon for notifications. With that, let's dive in. Hi, today we have a very special guest with us who is going to tell us what her journey has been like when she moved to the UK, because she works here and she's going to be giving you a lot of tips on how you can make it as well. Hi, so do you want to introduce yourself for everybody who's watching this?
Hi everyone. So I'm Sucheta. I'm a senior customer success manager in the company that I work for, and I have been working and handling a lot of UK portfolios from past 3 years in this company. So it was a time where since we were seeing a lot of volume of business and expansion, it was a time there was a requirement as well in my company for someone to be on site and take care of the portfolios, be closer to the customers, and look for more business and expansions. So that is where we had a talk. I had a talk with my manager to grabbing such an opportunity where it can be on site and leverage, also enhance my personal skills to face customers on site and be closer to them. So it will be a personal add-on for me as well as to the company as a whole of a business. So that is when I started having this conversation with my company. That is when I landed into this opportunity. So that is when we started. So again, that's a pretty much the journey I started off with and about myself. And moving on, once I finished my conversation, first level of conversation, this conversation started a year back.
Just a question. So there was a requirement, but you also organically had probably a discussion with your manager, probably when your evaluations were going on or when they were asking you what your goals are for the year, right?
Yeah, correct. So as in my company, a job for 3 years in the same company, in the same role, tend to get monotonous. And that is when we want to do something new. And that is when we as an individual need to set a goal for myself, understanding what they can offer. So keeping that in mind, I had to do something new to keep myself motivated or keep going on and do the same thing, right? So that is where I need to enhance myself. So since the requirement was also there, I positioned or had a sort of a conversation with my manager to be able to do or take up this opportunity to come down there. It would be a personal enhancement as well as to the company. So that is when we had a different rounds of conversation with my manager, the senior managers, and a skip level managers. And that is when they also found this was an opportunity where we need to give to this candidate who has been valuable to us. So that is how the opportunity opened up to me.
So I think it's really important, and there are like two takeaways if you ask me. The first thing is you were extremely clear about what you wanted because you realized that you needed to upskill, and this was a brilliant opportunity, and you recognized the opportunity. That's the first point. And the second point was that over the years, the work that you had worked on or the work that you had built on had made the company understand that you were valuable to the company in the first place, right? Which is why they were willing to take this bet on you. And a lot of people slum it and then they wonder why things are not working in their favor. And you are the bang opposite of that, right? You have added value over the past few years, and the company recognizes that. And in most cases, companies want to reward this behavior. They want to encourage it amongst other people, which is why they give such opportunities out, which is really great if you ask me. But I think in your case, the other thing which also really worked well was the timing, because while you recognized you had a need for growth, the company also had an equivalent opportunity that they wanted to pursue. So the timing, yeah, of the two of them worked really well. So, well, excellent job on that, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's always like that. We need to grab the opportunity within what they can offer you, and the right timing, like you said, which is very important. Like try to catch the apples which are nearer rather than going and telling something which is yet to bloom and give you the flowers and the fruits. So I think, yeah, that went well.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of people who write into me are people who work for companies in either India or any other country. And a lot of their companies have options that are, or have branches in the UK. But instead of considering that as their first course of action, their first course of action in their minds is let me try and get a job which offers sponsorship in the UK, which we all know is not the easiest thing, right? And like you said, the closest apples or low hanging fruit in this case would be if your company can transfer you internally, right? Because okay, that's my dog. Because to be really honest, for a company to offer you a skilled worker visa when they don't have an idea of how you perform, they don't know you at all. You have to be exceptionally talented and come with some really brilliant credentials for them to offer you that. And a much easier way of doing it is this company that you have been working with day in and day out for the past few years, who recognizes the work and the effort that you have put in and how you've made their business grow, contributed, right? Much easier.
Yes, absolutely. So, since I myself wanted to upskill on this front, I did research a bit of other companies who can give me this opportunity directly, and some of the top companies as well, which are very open. Some of the blooming companies which are into social media and stuff and all, they were ready to offer. But it would be a bigger challenge for me to take up a new role as well as a new city and being in a new place and completely restarting yourself. But when you are comfortable with your job, I felt it's better to try first in your own company versus, going out and taking up completely new, something new here.
I know your company has well branches in a lot of other and other countries. Sorry. So why did you consider the UK? Was the option available only in the UK, or did you otherwise also have a preference for the UK?
I would say it was an easy thing for me to be in UK versus any other countries because I was working closely for the UK companies. All my portfolio, all the clients were basically based out of UK or in the EMEA region.
Okay.
So my company had an office which is already registered and created in UK versus in the EMEA region,
Mhm.
like Germany or any other countries in Europe.
Mhm.
So it was easier for me to take up an opportunity or sort of decide to move to UK versus any other countries.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. It's been 3 months, right, since you've been here.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, what has your experience been like? What has your journey been like since then?
I would say definitely it's worth taking up a challenge in your life because you're going to learn a lot of things because you're going to just step away from your comfort zone of being in your home country or a home. Even if you're not staying with your parents or in your in staying in a hostel or in a PG or you have your own place to stay, I think going to some other country, trying to figure out your basic needs, your having a shelter under having a roof under your head, finding out a house for a rent versus figuring out the food, figuring out the groceries, or figuring out your mobile internet. Because the way we find it in India, it's not the same. In UK, it's different in a lot many ways. Although yes, ultimately you will have to go to grocery shops to go, but the method and the way you do everything is a little different. So whoever is going to plan for this, I would highly recommend them to do their necessary research. If they are first time who going to step out of India, go for an international sort of a relocation, I think it's very, very, very essential for them to do their research. There are a lot of YouTube videos around how a day in a UK or a London looks like, or in any other country looks like. Try to see how they check out, how they check in, how they find their things, because it's not going to be easy for sure.
So, did you have any challenges when you moved here?
For me, the biggest challenge was to find a house.
Mhm.
for myself because because of the inflation in the London and a lot of prices going up, and it also was a situation where COVID lockdown was gone and everything was becoming normal, and people who had moved to their different faraway places to stay because it was a all work from home situation. All those youngsters were coming back to London, and the even the renting prices had gone up. The tenancy duration had, like, people, landlords were asking for a longer duration commitments, or they were getting sold out so fast, like you had to make a fast decision.
Okay.
um so there were little bit of challenges for me, at least, especially. Yeah,
And you mentioned that a lot of landlords were looking for 12 months or 24 months tenancy, like a minimum lock-in, right?
correct. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And apart from accommodation, did you have any other challenges? Like, did you find well, commuting within London challenging, or was it like easy to manage and not too much of a hassle?
I think commuting in London is the best part of, compared to any of the countries. I would say London is very well connected when it comes to tubes. But I did face last month a lot of problem because of the strikes going on in here. But otherwise, I feel the transport is a one thing which is very well connected. And yeah, you just need to figure out your Oyster cards and you are all set.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, all right. So in terms of if somebody else is looking to start their journey, what do you recommend? What do you recommend? What should they first do? What's the first step someone should take if they're looking at moving to the UK?
I would say do a lot of research, like I said earlier. Now, how do you start your research? Is like first starts with your, because UK has a very nice rules, a defined rules for everything, right from a leverage a tenant can do versus a landlord has. Everything is being defined. A person cannot overcharge you or do something, and there is a lot of honesty in the rules what they have. So be well aware of it. And there are few things that, if you are well aware, you can have a very fruitful conversation with the people who approach you or wherever in circumstances you get into, and be more knowledgeable. Definitely, a person who is coming from an India, they need to have a very good, if they don't have a habit of reading the rules, reading, trying to prep themselves even before doing something, I think they need to fasten their belts on that, because you need to have a knowledge in a bit of knowledge. You just can't go a blank handed and tell that you need something and get it.
Yeah, which is why I feel gov.uk helps a lot because it's like your Bible. If you're living in the UK, everything is there.
Yeah, everything is there literally. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have everything from visas all the way till tenancy rules, where you can drive, what you can do, everything is mentioned.
Absolutely. And since we're going to move from a different country, I think in the first 2 months at least, it is a possibility you're going to fall sick, because of the water, or it could be the climate, anything. So keep your, doctor, getting a doctor appointment is not easy here at all. If you are trusting on NHS, I would say keep that as your third or second option. Your first option should be, like, some doctors better, or else a private GP appointments or online appointments also works very well over here. So just know what to do when in situation of emergencies.
Right, right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because I had done a video a little while ago on what you need to do if you fall sick over the weekend because it was an absolute nightmare because the
Yeah,
GPs are closed. So then you need to go to an A&E or something like that. And well, you don't always find one. So I
yeah,
get where you're coming from.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Because that's the case for me. So yeah,
All right. That was brilliant. Thank you so much, Sucheta.
thank you.
Been wonderful talking to you, and I really hope everybody benefits from this. I'm sure they will, because, well, personal experience is always a lot more valuable than anything that people can keep talking about, right? So,
Yeah,
thank you so much for being a part of this and sharing your journey with us.
thank you. Thank you. I hope this helps to people who are planning to move. Yeah.
Same here. Bye bye.
Bye.
Now, like you saw, Sucheta here was on a global business mobility visa, which is not usually the visa we talk too much about, but is a brilliant avenue if you plan on moving to the UK. Now, if you'd like to know more about the visas, the work visas that are available in the UK, I suggest you watch this.